Salaam Alaikum. No, just leave it. We'll edit that out. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wassalatu wassalam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man tabi'ahu bi ihsanin ila yawmiddin ma ba'd. So this is for my 5 BB students who were absent and for anybody else who wants a general summary of what we did in class. So we are on Surat Naziat, and we discussed from Surat 15 to from Ayah 15 to Ayah 28. So last time we talked about Musa and the fact that giving da'wah requires courage. Not everybody can do it. And Musa asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help him, to send somebody with him so that he could have the courage and have the backup in order to give da'wah to Pharoah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed his brother Harun to go with him. And I mentioned in the class that many of us, that if we were given the chance to give da'wah to certain individuals today who are oppressing people, that many of us, we would be afraid. The reality is we would be afraid. But perhaps if you had somebody with you, you had a group of people with you to go and face this individual, then you will have more courage. And the same with Musa. Allah sent his brother Harun with him so that there would be backup, there'd be courage in order for him to be able to face Pharoah. Pharoah was a criminal, the greatest of criminals, because he claimed to be Allah. He claimed to be Allah Azza wa Jal. And this is the worst crime that a person can commit. As we've talked before, the shirk is the number one thing that Allah will not forgive. You have to repent from it. You have to re-enter Islam. Allah will not forgive shirk. He will forgive everything else but this. Musa was to guide Pharaoh. He went to Pharaoh to give Pharaoh guidance because Pharaoh was astray. Completely misguided. Completely crazy for a person to say that he's Allah. And I mentioned in the class that we humans, we have to use the bathroom. We have to eat. We get hungry. So if you have to go through these things, that there's no way that you can be God. Pharaoh he knew this full well, because there's no human that doesn't have to go to the bathroom. Pharaoh knew full well that he's not God, but he made this claim anyway. And by him making this claim, that he forces people to believe this. He forced the people that were subjugated to him to believe him and to follow this ridiculous idea that he had. So Musa was coming to not only guide Pharaoh, but to guide those people around him. Musa showed a great sign, and that great sign was that he threw his staff, and his staff is actually real. Now, Pharaoh's magicians, he had magicians with him. They turned things to snakes, but we know that this was just all tricks of the eye. But Musa's was the real deal. Everybody could see he was holding a staff, and he threw it down, and it became a snake, and his snake ate all the other snakes. But still, with this, Pharaoh disbelieved. Now, some of the magicians, they believed. They saw this, and they knew from their experience that what Musa did was real. What they were doing was fake. And so these ones immediately, they believed in Musa's message, but not Pharaoh. Pharaoh continued to disbelieve. Even with this, Pharaoh gathered the people again to reinforce that he is Allah. So when Allah punished him with a severe punishment, and he deserved it. And this is the thing that we have to understand, is that there's justice. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just. Pharaoh was making claims that were horrendous. So it's only befitting that Allah punished him in the way that he was punished, that he was drowned. He was drowned, and that's probably one of the worst ways that you imagine. Anybody who remembers their swimming lessons, remember that, it was scary. And anybody who's almost drowned, you know that that was very scary. So imagine Pharaoh dying in this way. And at that moment of dying, then he realizes that what Musa was coming with is true, but Allah, it's too late. It's too late with Allah. So let this be a lesson for us that when people come to give us advice, people come to give you nasiha, and you know what the person saying is true, don't reject them. Don't turn your back on them. Don't say, leave me alone. Because this happens. You know that sometimes you're doing something wrong, and people come to you to give you advice. It's your job to accept it, especially when you know the person is trustworthy, the person is truthful, and you know what they're saying is truthful. But don't follow your desires because you want to do something and you know it's wrong, that you just ignore the person. Ayah 27, Allah then mentions that He says, أَأَنْتُمْ أَشَدُّ خَلْقًا أَمِ السَّمَاء بَنَاهَا. Are you more difficult to create, or is the heaven that He constructed? This is a lesson again, that when you look at the skies, look at the earth just in general, look at the earth, the biospheres and all of these things. Look at the sun, look at the stars. These are magnificent creations. So why would it be difficult for God to create a human? If God could create stars, then we look at our sun and it's so far away, and the sun is providing us with so much energy. He created that. How was it difficult for Him to create humans? He then goes on to say in 28, رَفَعَ سَمْكَهَا فَسَوَّاهَا. He raised His heights and perfected it. So we look upon this earth, and I mentioned in class that no matter where you are on earth, you can find beauty in that area. The deserts, when you go out to the deserts, you look at the sand dunes. They're beautiful, especially when you look at them at night, with the full moon. Very beautiful. Go to the mountains, beautiful. The beaches, beautiful. So this is all from Allah Azza wa Jal. And understand that this is His creation. And these creations are from His signs. And these signs are to remind you of your duty to worship Allah. I end here. I look forward to seeing you next time. Subhanallah wa bihamdi. Subhanallah al-azim. Salaam Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.